Hey guys, it's Carlos here from the Cowboys and Pilots blog. I'm making this video today because all year I've been asked by other coaches around the Marine League about a certain technique my JV offensive center uses when he snaps the ball. It's called the dead snap. Well, in short, this technique is snapping the ball in a very unorthodox way of holding the ball nose up. But before I go into detail about it, let me first give you my brief history and how I came to learn the technique and how it came to be used on my JV offensive line. Well, as some of you may know, I come from a small town called Norco, and that's in California, and that's where I played my high school football. We were rivals to the prestigious Corona Centennial Huskies, who will dominate Southern California for the past decade or so. Well, the reason I mention the Huskies is because they employ this technique that was always weird to me before I learned it. I used to watch film on them, of course, when you're preparing for games, and during my junior year, I actually attended an offensive line camp, and sure enough, there were some Huskies there. We got to chatting and about the rivalry and such, and sure enough, I asked about the awkward and foreign technique that was the dead snap. That's the first time I actually heard the word dead snap, which is pretty funny looking back at it now because I use it every day while coaching. These players would end up teaching me the dead snap, and to my surprise, I mastered it almost immediately. See, that's the technique's biggest asset. It's easy to learn and easy to execute. Well, now fast forward a few years, and I'm now coaching the Banning Pilots at spring camp, and I come to notice that our JV offensive lineman, who is now our center, was struggling really bad with his snaps in both accuracy and velocity. And so, after a few weeks of seeing him debacle the sport of football, I decided enough's enough, and I decided to teach him the technique, which is the dead snap. And like me, he took it instantly, and overall his snaps improved, bar none. This is the perfect technique to teach not only struggling centers, but also backups to centers and all the other linemen, just in case for emergency situations where injury comes into play. That is what the sport is, and that is a factor, and that is a variable. Okay, now one last thing before I begin the tutorial of the dead snap, let me give you a fair disclaimer. Although this technique has its many benefits, it also comes with its flaws. In comparison to the typical shotgun snap that you see in 90% of football teams nowadays, the dead snap does not have nearly as much velocity, nor does it give a tight spiral for the quarterback. But if you and your quarterback can live with this, then by all means, please use this technique. Okay guys, before I actually get to the video of my players demonstrating the dead snap and how it would look in a real game situation, I first want to show you a couple little things you should know before you get into that part. First, I want to show you the hand placement. You see, we're always at the nose of the ball, always at the nose of the ball. Now, let's look at the fingers. You always want your fingers either at the laces or at the seams of the ball. See, seam, laces. I prefer the laces, but I've seen others prefer the seams. Like Corona Centennial, they do the side seam. So, next I want to show you your stance and your hand, how to place the ball in front of you on the actual snap. So, basically you want to keep a normal, balanced center stance, not cocking your legs too much, nice center of gravity. Then you put the ball like you normally would as a center. Always out in front of you where you're comfortable. And the snap is it's a basic center snap, just with a little bit different hand placement. When you snap it, it's basically back and the flick of the wrist up to get the ball to your quarterback. So back, flick of the wrist. So that's the basics. And now let me show you some of the film from my players. Well, thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you could leave them down below in the YouTube video, or you could visit my blog, Cowboys and Pilots. The link will be in the description below. Have a good day.